Thank you so much, Johanna, for these introduction words, and thank you so much for having me. I'm really delighted to be joining you, at least virtually, for this Digime seminar. I'm really excited to talk to you about the work that we've been doing with the TAROCH Coalition, and TAROCH stands for Towards a Recommendation on Open Cultural Heritage. But before I go into it, let me give you a little bit of background. I work for Creative Commons. We are the organization behind the Creative Commons copyright licenses and public domain tools. And our main goal is to increase access to knowledge, science, education, and culture, including cultural heritage. And as part of this mission, we aim to help cultural heritage institutions like libraries, archives, and museums to grant open access to their collections in the digital environment so that everyone can enjoy their right to participate in their cultural life by accessing their own heritage. Because we know that accessing heritage is fundamental. Because if we want to understand our present, we need to know our past. We need to know and have access to our memories, our history, our heritage. And so this really shows the importance of preserving, but not only preserving, but also supporting access to heritage, especially heritage that's already in the public domain and where copyright is not a barrier. And by this, we're guided by UNESCO, which states that heritage is a shared resource and that culture is a global public good. And so to be a public good, the public must be able to benefit from it. And so it has to be able to access it. And we know that when a heritage is openly and equitably accessible, it can lead to all sorts of benefits. Excuse me. It can spark new narratives across diverse contexts by inviting new knowledge and new conversations about heritage that would not be possible otherwise. It can nurture collective memory. It can advance digital equity by making sure that people who are deprived of digital access can have so more equitably. It invites also people to transform yesterday's heritage into today's creativity and tomorrow's innovation. So openness is really a key principle if we want to preserve and disseminate heritage, and mostly to affirm its role in promoting human rights, cultural and linguistic diversity, and intercultural dialogue. And this is well understood, I'm sure, by everyone here attending this seminar, and especially in Finland, because there are many good examples uh, already doing this right. For example, the work of the National Library of Finland, Avoin Glam, and the Music Archive Finland, many, many others. For example, the Wiki Inventory for Living Heritage is another good example of providing open access to heritage in order to fulfill their mission, but also increase people's access to their own heritage so that they can enjoy their fundamental right of participating in cultural life. However, I want to say that these are the exceptions rather than the rule, because on a global level, estimates put to about 1% the number of cultural heritage institutions that share their collections openly. Most of them do not provide open access. And we know that without open and equitable access to that heritage, we actually limit the foundations of cultural participation. This can lead to digital exclusion and open knowledge societies that underpin the sustainable development goals are very much challenged. And at Creative Commons, we really believe in the role of open solutions. So open tools, open policies, open practices within cultural heritage institutions that can help remove these unfair barriers. So there are economic barriers, there are legal barriers, there are technological barriers, social cultural barriers to accessing heritage. And we know that openness can be a tool to effectively overcome these barriers and help people, foster creative reuse and tell their own stories and tell the stories of our shared humanity. We know that now it's more important than ever as we see a lot of the world closing up. And the problem is that without global alignment, the full potential of open heritage remains largely unrealized. So it might be the case that a few institutions, 1%, are doing it right, but many feel left out and still face challenges to make sure that their collections are open. And this, in turn, kind of threatens the intercultural collaboration possibilities on a global scale. And what we think is that a global framework could change that. If we had a global standard that could empower cultural heritage institutions by setting shared standards, by mobilizing resources, and by fostering this international cooperation, that could help advance equitable access to heritage, especially that which is already in the public domain. And this brings me to the reason why we steer the TAROCH Coalition. So this is a pioneering community-fueled initiative that is led by Creative Commons, and it brings together more than 60 organizations and institutions with a common goal. And with TAROCH, we want to provide the space for constructive dialogue to explore some of the avenues of reflection on what are the emerging trends in equitable access to public domain heritage in the digital environment. And through this dialogue, we hope that we will be able to build bridges across cultures and set that international standards and enshrine openness as a guiding principle to help cultural heritage institutions fulfill their mission in the digital environment. Now, soon we'll be releasing our Open Heritage Statement, which was drafted collaboratively by the TAROCH Coalition over the past few months. And this statement is both, I guess, a positive reflection of all the possibilities of open, but it also states very clearly what obstacles are still standing in the way. And it ends with a call to action to join this conversation to make this a reality under the UNESCO's auspices. So it crystallizes years of dialogue, experimentation, all the lessons learned by cultural heritage institutions on the ground, and extracts those values and those principles into a statement that we think can provide this unified vision for the future of open heritage. And the statement will be released really soon in October, and it consists of two parts: a preamble that frames TAROCH's collective vision through our values and our principles, and then the articles. And the articles, they outline the barriers to equitable access to public domain heritage and pairs them with a commitment on how to address and overcome these challenges. So I will end my very short introduction by inviting you to consider signing the forthcoming Open Heritage Statement. Like I said, it will be available very soon. And so together we can support a future where everyone can access, enjoy, and build upon our shared heritage. So together, I really believe that we can enshrine openness in international law and ensure that heritage continues to be the foundation of our shared humanity. Thank you very much, Kiko.